worry about that. Now let's think, next thing we want to see is go to the views and create a view. So the question is, what is view? I think all of you guys knows the answers, right? So you are free to, type the answer, whether it is right or wrong. If it is wrong, we'll correct that, we'll learn. If it is right, great, you already know. But I want you guys to, start discussion. Discussion in the sense, don't unmute and start speaking everyone. Okay, discussion in the sense, yeah, let me know the answers, type there. So what is a view? A view is logical representation of one or more tables, which is read-only to get the data. I just want to, kind of see the data from one or more tables and only few fields or all the fields. And I don't want to allow editing of the data. It is just some purpose, display on the form, which is kind of read only, and or display on the report. On the report, I don't need to simply show or modify the records, right? I don't need to use the table. I can simply get the records, and if there is any calculation, yeah, do the calculation. Otherwise, simply get the records from one or more tables, and simply go back and display on the form. That is what I want to do, or on the report. That is what I want to do. For that, I'm going to use a view. It is like a table. It is like a table, but it will not allow any operations other than read. So that is view. And AX7 used to have views again. Okay, sorry, AX 2012 also used to have views, and they are read-only views. Read-only views. When I say read-only, you cannot edit records, or you cannot create records, or you cannot update the records. You cannot do anything. It is just read-only. But AX7 has got two types of views: read-only views and editable views. Right? Non-editable, editable. When I say editable, they can be used for creating the records. They can be used for editing the existing records and updating the records. Those are all the things we can do with the editable views, right? And we cannot create editable views with simply these kind of views. Instead, the editable views are created using the data entities. When I create a data entity, it will create a updatable view. I should not call it editable view. Okay, the actual term is updatable view. Updatable view. These are created using data entities. So till we go to data entities, don't worry about the updatable views, but whatever we create now is read-only view, right? And creation of data entities, it's very bigger stuff. I would say it takes minimum 3 to 4 days time for learning all the stuff in data entities. You see the data entities, composite entities, aggregate entities, and you will have OData services, and you will have, the DIXF whole stuff in system administration. It is used for importing, exporting data. So we want to learn a lot of stuff. I would say a week also. So it takes a week. Don't worry about that. It is one thing which we want to see. But today we'll complete these small views. What are they? The read-only views, right? We are going to see how to create the read-only views, as simple as that. Right click, add a new item and a view. Go to the data model, a view, and give some name, VPB1 underscore bank current table view. I should not say current also, right? Cust view. And usually we are going to keep the suffix as view, kind of practice. It's up to you. And click on add. And views, it's very simple. You don't add the fields or you don't create anything. You use the existing tables or existing views to add or get the data from this one. So if you was there, you have something called as view metadata. You don't create the field directly. Instead, you are going to drag and drop the tables or queries or another view for getting the data from this particular table. We are going to get the data. Remember, I told you again, it is just read only. We don't use for insertion of the records. When I cannot insert the records, the data will go and sit in table. And when I create a view, I should tell AX to get the data from that particular table. And how I'm going to do that? Using this one, right? Drag and drop the table or tables from which you want to get the data. We are going to see how to drag and drop more than one table also, right? Not now. Let us complete the first one. I'll just add this to the project, right? So we got one table, and yeah, you have a few things here. Watch. The first one is fields. You'll see all the fields, and you cannot remove or do anything on these fields. Just they are there. The second one is your ranges. What is range? If you go to SQL, I have written a lot of queries, sometimes small queries, and in those queries, a lot of times I used to say select star from VPB1 bank cust current account table. And if I want only 2001 record, what I'll do? Where the customer ID equal to 2001. How I'm going to do that? Using the where clause. The where clause is called as range. We call as range. And if you want to add a new range, you are going to use this range for the view. If you want a range for the view, remember, view is like a query here. I told you, right? Just now, view is read-only data getting from some table. So query is also read-only data getting from some table. What is the difference between view and table? Sorry, query. Query, you'll write, you'll close, it is gone. View, once you create, it can be used any number of places, any number of times. It is persistent. I mean, it is there in your AOT under the views node. So when you create a view once, you can use in form, report, or any other places, a query or any other views, or write in the code also. Select star from VPB1 bank current cust view. You can do that. So that is possible, and that is the use of your view. As simple as that. Right. So anyways, you can add the ranges if you want. Adding ranges is very simple. Just add the range and go to the properties. Now you can watch here, a lot of things are there, and yeah, you can simply give the kind of field or whatever it is, and give the value. You're going to have the value here. Say for example, I want to give the value 1001. Now what it will do, select star from VPB3 bank current account table where customer ID equal to 1001. I actually don't want to filter, because if I filter, I'll get only one record, right? I'm going to remove this range, but I'm just trying to show you the range, right? So now if you don't want this one, you can simply set this to no. It will not use. If you want in future, you can set this to yes. Yep. And usually you don't filter for the customer IDs or kind of stuff. You'll filter for account types, because this is current account view, right? We'll say account type equal to current. We'll get a lot of records, right? So this is what we are going to do. And yeah, I'm not going to add this range. I just want to remove this because I want all the records. We have only 2 or 3 records. If I start filtering, how many records I'm going to get here, right? So that's why I don't want to do that. And I told you it is a collection of 1 or more tables, right? So how do we add the second table in the data sources? Let's come back to this one, but let us go to the fields and stuff now, right? And this group by having all those things, don't worry, because actually we don't need to learn or worry about these views, because was there, right? You see fields, ranges, data source, group by, having, order by. In queries, this is query. Okay, I got the query to show you, and getting query again I got from application explorer. Right click, open designer. I'm not adding to the project also. I'm just watching what are all the things there, right? Open designer. And if you go to the view, fields, ranges, data source, group by, having, right? So same stuff. Okay, so when we come to the queries, we'll learn all these things in very detailed way. Till then, don't worry about views, but I want to show you how to create a view with some basic settings. Okay, so queries will take a week time, and after views and classes are done, we'll go to the queries. So hold on for say like a week. In a week, we'll go there, right? So now let us go back to the next thing. If you want to use this view, the second thing you want to do is, first thing, add a table in the metadata data sources. The second thing you want to do is add these fields, one or few of them, whatever you want, into minimum balance, name, and pin code. I think those are the fields I want into the fields, right? So once you add, you'll get the fields there. Remember, drag and drop, as simple as that. Select, drag and drop. Don't drag multiple times. Okay. And yeah, if you want to create yourself instead of dragging and dropping, you can also do that. Right click, new field. Don't worry about the computed columns, just field, and select the field here, data source and data field, whatever it is, right? Now you are going to get the customer ID field here. Again, duplicate the name, you have to change. If you drag and drop, it is getting good names. If you don't drag and drop, if you create, you have to change. So that's one thing you need to remember. Okay, let us not worry, we already have the customer ID, so that's it. Now save. Now the question is, again, we got field groups, indexes, what are all these things? Actually the table and views both come from something called as common. There is a table called as common. The common is the parent table for all the tables, which will give the default properties to the table. What are default properties to the table? The data area ID, the rec ID, the partition, and modified by, created date, created time, created transaction ID, and your methods, insert, delete, validate write, validate read, validate delete, whatever, blah, 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 blah. All these are common properties. These common properties are given to the table, and view is a logical table. View is like a table, right? So it will give for view also. So where is common? Go to the system documentation, tables. The first table you see is common. Expand this, you'll see the fields, right? All these fields you'll get for the tables, whatever the tables you create, right? And these fields will go to the view also, because view is also derived from the common. Common is the parent for all the tables and all the views, and that's why you will get these fields, or you will see these things for the views also. And if you go to methods, even methods, you see these. You remember, right? These methods, you wrote these methods just till yesterday or a couple of days back. Do insert, do delete, all these methods, you see them, right? I think you remember. Init value, insert, and validates, all those methods, right? The validate, delete, all those things. So 1 second, let me scroll down. Right, validate, delete, validate field value, modified field value, all those methods, you wrote them, right? So because this is again derived from the common. Even if you go to find I'm sorry, not find reference, Where is view hierarchy? Oh man, it is not there here. Let's check here. Okay, just 1 second. It will not show actually. Okay, but still I want to check if it is showing or not. And data model, tables. Let us go to VPB1 or whatever it is, view hierarchy. I don't think it will show, but I'm trying. Okay, if it show, good. Otherwise, I'll show you in AX 2012. Okay, for learning purpose. I mean, for your remembering. No, it is not showing. Actually, this is derived from the common because you'll see the same thing in the common. But yeah, AX7 is not showing. 2012, you don't see the hierarchy, but it will show somewhere, right? I'll show you where is that when we go to 2012. And right, you know how I came to know this? Don't think like I worked in 2012, so I know that. No, I don't know. You know, I verified in MSDN and I found this information. Okay, we'll watch some stuff right here and there sometimes. It is not all the things I didn't learn overnight. It takes time. Don't worry. Okay, and rest of the properties, they are similar to your table, right? There are no changes with the properties. And even if you create indexes or relations or whatever it is, it may not be of useful. It may not be of any use because you don't open this and you don't, create any records. It is only read only, right? You cannot create the records. And yeah, anyways, I want to just build and, add one more view so that we'll understand how the view is used and whether we have this view in SQL or not, all those things. So once you are done with your view, don't worry about the rest of the stuff because we are not going to use them in views. We use those in the tables. Tables has got all these things. We use them in the tables. And still, if you want to try, feel free to try and check how they are working. Try to create a record. See if you are getting a lookup or not. Try to create a record. See if you are able to create or not. Try to delete a record. See if you are able to delete or not. Then think about adding the lookups, all those things, right? So if you are not able to create a record, you don't need a lookup, right? So don't worry about them. Still try once because I want you guys to try once to understand how this stuff is working, right? Now, very simple, right click and build, as simple as that. And I kept synchronization to yes. It may take a while. We'll see. We'll wait till it synchronizes, and then we'll come back. Okay. Uh, 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 uh. Oh, meeting. I mean, they're starting on time. Okay. I mean, I'm going to get the password also. I spoke to them to give me the password. Before Friday, I'm going to get the password, and we'll start Sunday ourselves, right? So no worries, and just 1 second. Don't focus more on views because we use a lot of times queries than views. Even queries, they are read only. We can make it as updatable also using the for update keyword. You know that, right? Select for update. We used that while doing the insertion, deletion, updation kind of operations. So select for update can be used, but yeah, views can be queries can be read only. And whatever you can do in view, you can do them in queries also. So don't worry about views, but we have to learn because sometimes we are going to display some data on some form, read only data. We can just go for views. We don't want to go for tables. And even if you give table, you can disable creation, editing, all those things. I'll tell you how when we go to forms. So what's there? The view is created and it says database synchronization is completed successfully. So how to use this view? You can use this view in the forms or we'll try in the code. My case, we'll try in the code. I'm not doing anything. I'll just write some, simple output statement. VPB1 underscore test view. I'm going to write some small code. I don't do a lot of things. Okay. Let me copy this. I want to show that we can use in code also. When we go to forms, I'm going to show you in form. Okay. When we learn forms, select star from cust view. I'll use while select. I don't know if I told you while select. If you want to read records continuously, one after the other, if you have more records and you want to read the records continuously, I think I told you, right? This one, how to select and how to select all the records one after the other. Use the while select, as simple as that. While select will check if the next record is there or not in database. If it is there, get that record. If it is not there, go out of while. While is condition, right? Looping condition. It will check true or false. There, true. Not there, false. Simple. And I want to display the stuff. strfmt. You know this strfmt, right? To display in the formatted string, in the formatted, whatever the format you want. And I want three things now. So if you watch percentile1, percentile2, percentile3, they'll indicate the positions of the fields. Percentile1 will display the first field value. 2 will display second field value. 3 will display third field value. I'm adding first field, customer view dot name. Name is the first one. Don't think customer ID is the first one. I give name here. Percentile1, location 1, and percentile 2, location 2. right? Percentile to second place, and this is in the second place, comma, cust view dot, I don't know if address is there. What is there here? Pin code, zip code, pin code. So that's enough. That's it. Very simple. And the best practice in AX is display one screen reading information. Whatever the code you can read in one screen, you have to write that amount of code. Don't simply write like 1 kilometer line, right? So just remember that. Now let us save and build. And yeah, either you can debug or display, or use these views in another view, or use these views in queries, or use these views in forms, or use these views in reports. I'm going to tell you when we go to forms, reports, and other places, queries, I'm going to show you dragging and dropping this view. Right now we are trying in the query, so we'll try in the query. The second thing I can do is I want to show you whether these views are available in some other place. Tables are created in SQL or not? Tables are there. Where do we map the number sequence to the field? Or when we go to the number sequences, I'm going to tell you. We have to create the number sequence, right? When we create a form, for getting the number sequence into the form field, we are going to simply write some code for generating the number sequence and assigning to the field in the init value or some method of the data source, and it's going to get there, right? So I'm going to show you. I'll write that code, and usually init value of the form, not the table. Okay, unless you want to assign in the table, you can also assign in the table, but yeah, we'll do usually in the forms. And right, so tables and table fields are created in the SQL, right? Same is the case with view. Even your views are created in the SQL. And was there, you got two records in the current cust view, and current cust view will go here and we'll check. Not tables this time, views. It is not tables this time, it is views. And we want to go for dbo.vpb1 bank current cust view. You see this, right? So as simple as that. Whenever you create a view in X, it will go and sit in SQL. And we'll create one more now. I think there are a lot of other entities was there. I told you entity, right? We'll see the entities. If you scroll down, you have a lot of entities. The sales trans entity, vendor group entity, and a lot of other entities. We are going to see those entities. But to learn some advanced stuff, we need to have some ground, sound ground, right? The base. So that's why we are learning a lot of things. We'll go to the entities. I want to just come to these entities from tomorrow itself, but I'm more worried if you understand or not, right? So that's why I'm trying to find some good time. If you say we are very good at tables, we are very good at other things, whatever you taught, the methods and stuff, I can jump to the entities. That is more advanced thing. That is the very new thing in AX7. But yeah, if you say we are not still very confident, hold for a week or something, then we'll go for the macros and the classes, and then we'll go for the entities once we are good at AX, right? So decide yourself and be back tomorrow. I can start anytime. Right, anyways, we got some code here. I want to run this code and check whether the stuff is working as expected. And we are getting these two records, 1001 and 2 on my AX also. And you can write a where clause here also. It's up to you. Instead of giving the range in the view while developing, you can also write a where clause here. And yeah, that always works, right? So let me run this. As simple as that. We are going to get the output in the UI. We'll see that output, and we'll go back to view and create one more view with 2 or more tables, and we'll conclude with the views, right? Oh man. So you see this, right? Someone was asking how to set the startup object, or why should we set the startup object? Because now here a lot of what do you call the tables, views, all those things are there. So I don't. AX is not able to understand which one it has to run. So for that reason, we want to set the startup object. We want to say, yeah, start the project with this one, run the project with this object, run. As simple as that. And table browsers, you can open table browser for view also. It will show the records. But I just want to go for code, so that we'll write one more code and we'll understand that code can be used. Table browser, you already know. Right click, table browser, it's going to work. But I want to show the view, how to use in the code. Even code can use the view. That's what I want to show. I just came back here. And if you go to the view in SQL, you can right click on this and say script, right? Right click, script, create a new, and was there. You'll see some interesting statement here. Create view name as select star from, was there. Create view name as select your fields from bank cust current account table. This is the table we added in metadata, right? So that is what you see in SQL. And you cannot create a record, or you cannot do anything. Let me edit top 1000 rows and see if it is allowing editing or not. I don't know if SQL allows, but AX will not allow. You try to hit the update, it will throw the error, right? Let me try to change here. Oh man, it is allowing. Let me go back and close. Oh great, it is allowing editing in SQL, possibly, but AX will not allow editing for the regular views. Okay, remember, I'm not SQL guy here. Okay, don't ask me why SQL is editing or not editing, whatever it is. And check in SQL documentation, right? And AX has nothing to do with SQL. SQL is independent of AX. Remember, AX is dependent on SQL, but SQL is not dependent on AX. SQL is independent, right? So don't think of SQL. Don't worry about SQL, how it is behaving. It is SQL style. Right, anyway, so if you come back to my AX will not allow editing of these views, but it will allow editing of data entities, right? When we go to data entity, we'll learn, right? The class is running and we should get the output, those two fields. Oh man, it said completed. Where is this info here? It has to show here, right? In the drop down, it is not getting any records. USMF, 1 second. We are in USMF. Oh man, these records are in DAT here. I'm sorry. You remember why they went to DAT? You remember? I think you forgot. I'll tell you why they went to DAT. Couple of days back or yesterday, we modified some property called as share data across the tables, or don't share data across the tables, or some property. What is that property? You guys should remember, man. If I forget, nothing will happen. If you forget, it will make a lot of difference.
Save data per company.
Right. Thank you. So save data per company. If you said to no, it will remove data area ID. And when I said to yes back, it moved all the, I mean, it changed. It added a new field, data area ID, and it gave default value as that, right? That is bad, right? So that's why it is not giving anything, right? So that's funny, yeah. But yeah, it is how it's going to work. So let's run. Now it has to get the records because I modified an SQL to USMF. Don't do that. Never ever change in SQL. It is bad, right? So don't do that. I just did that because I know what will happen. And yeah, don't do yourself, right? I think
But
we
one
have
question.
some problem. Yeah.
If we change the data in SQL, will it update the tables and will they be changed?
Where? In X?
When you view the original tables, yes, original table data, will it be
I want to
changed
know
in
what.
the tables?
One sec. So one thing here, you have two things to change in the table in SQL. Okay, remember, AX will not keep the data in tables. AX will have only the structure. I told you on the first day, right? So AX is not responsible for holding the data. AX will have only the structure of the tables. All the data, whatever you create in AX using your code, table browser, form, or any other way, the data will go into the SQL. Got the point? SQL is the place where the data will go and sit. So if you change in SQL, what AX will do, AX will pull the data from SQL and will show. So if you change in SQL, AX will pull that data and show that data. So AX will automatically show that whatever is updated in the SQL. Point one. This is related to data. All the data will go and sit in SQL. Data wise, there is no thing to discuss about whether the AX data will change or whether the SQL data will change, because data will go and sit only in SQL. AX will not store the data. If you update in AX or if you update in SQL, it will update in SQL only. Clear? Hello?
Yes, got it. Yes, got
right. The second thing, the structure of the table you will have in two places. One is AX, one is SQL. If you delete some field in SQL, AX will not identify. If you delete some field in AX and synchronize, SQL will have the restructured table. But structure wise, you don't do any structural changes to the table in SQL. Creation of index will work, no worries. But otherwise, if you delete some field or add some field, whatever you do, the new things, it will not update in AX because SQL is independent. AX is dependent. And any development related to tables, not data, development, adding the fields, adding the indexes, or adding the relations, or modifying the fields, setting the field properties visible, non-visible, or whatever it is, do from AX end and synchronize, because it has to update the SQL. And AX will track its own developments in the metadata files, like your XML files in the model. I have shown you the model store, right? So you have C drive, AOS service, packages, local directory. I have shown you some stuff, the basic stuff. I didn't speak about this one a lot. I'll speak about this one a lot, but I told you like how it's going to organize this and whether you will find your file here or not, right? This file says it has got customer ID field, but your SQL says the customer ID field is not there, and AX will throw synchronization error. It will not identify that field. It will throw error simply. So that's why don't modify anything in SQL. Try to modify whatever you want to modify, the structural changes in AX only. I hope that should be clear related to the structure, right? Okay, I hope.
Yes, got it.
Right, cool. So now if you watch, the records are displayed from the view. It got two records and the records are displayed. So that's as simple as that. Okay, so you can use views in the table, the forms, as well as reports, queries, and another view also. I'm going to create a view, one more view now, to add two tables, the current account table and savings account table, only for showing. Okay, these two are independent tables. They are not related. They are not parent and child. Current account, if we have transaction table, it should have been better, but I don't want to develop one more table now. I just want to show you how to drag and drop multiple tables into the view, nothing more than that. Now let us go back, and yeah, we want to just come back to the views here. Go to the data model, create a view, and this view is VPB3. I don't know if it is 3 or 1. I just gave some random conventions, right? VPB3 underscore cust current savings view. I'm just giving some bad name and stuff. Don't do that. Okay, but yeah, I'm just coming up with some stuff to show you. Right, so now drag and drop multiple data sources. We'll see whether it is allowing or not. It is allowing, right? But actually we don't use this. I mean, if you do this, yeah, I want to tell you like what is this. The first thing, let us understand a couple of concepts before going to two. There is something called as union and join. Union will display or get the records one after the other. The meaning is when you say current table union savings table, first it will get the records of current table 1001, name, balance 1002, name, balance. Then it will get the savings tables records, right? Savings table records like this, one after the other, right? This is how the union will work. Table 1, union, table 2 data. That is union. And there are few rules with the unions. The first thing is the parent table or the first table, not parent and child. They are equally, same level of tables. Like current account table will store current account information. Savings table will store savings information. And they are equally, the same kind of tables. And the first table, the number of fields you are using. The second table, you have to use the same number of fields. Don't pull a lot of other fields. It will throw the error. And the field types should be same. If the first field is integer, the first field in the second table should be integer. Otherwise, it won't work. It will throw the error because it has to do some conversions internally. So it will not allow, right? That's why you have to follow the same convention. And this union, we can do in queries as well as views as well as everywhere. When you drag and drop more than one table at once, it will do the union. It will get the first table records first, then the second table records. And unions are used very rarely unless you want to get the records from more than one table at a time. You are going to use this, but my experience, I maybe hardly got only 1 or 2 times I used this union. Again, that too with the same table, because we'll never have the same type of records in more than one table, right? So we don't need a union. But yeah, when we come to the second case, the join, if you drag and drop again, it is not allowing. Watch, I'm deleting this. Okay, I'm dragging and dropping current. I'm trying to drag and drop this one. It is not allowing. Actually it is allowing when we drag and drop for the first time, and that too selecting more than one at a time. It is allowing. Otherwise, it is not allowing. View actually will not allow this. Okay, that's a bug it seems. View will not allow the unions. It will allow only joins. Okay, when you are selecting more than one, drag and dropping, it is allowing. Don't do that. It's actually a bug. Okay, and yeah, how to join? What is a join? That is the question. Now say you have customer table and customer trans. Customer table join customer trans. So what this will do, it will not get the records one after the other. Instead, it will get like this: 1000 join 1001 from customer trans, 500 rupee transaction or 100 rupee transaction today, 7 by 31. And if you have more records, the child records, it will get one more time: 1002 200 rupee, sorry, 1001 200 rupee transaction, and it is on 29th. And 1002 B 2000 minimum balance, 1002, and maybe let's say 500 rupee transaction, and 7 by 26th date, transaction date. So what's there? What is the difference? This is getting the records one after the other table. This is joining and getting the records. The parent and child records are merged together, and it is getting the records. It is merging the records. There it is, kind of what do you call? I have only one word in English, maybe merge, right? It is just getting the records all together. The parent records and the child records both are coming at a time. That is join, right? Understand the difference between join and the union. This is union, one after the other, and you should have the parent and parent table only. There is no child. If you have the child like this, the parent and child, the parent or transactions, header and transactions tables, you will use the join. In that case, it will merge the records and it will return the records. So when we come back to this kind of case, yeah, it's like you have to drag and drop in the data source of the parent. Now watch here, I'm dragging and dropping the savings account table in the current account. Don't do this drag and drop transactions table here. I hope you're clear. Drag and drop the transactions table. Don't drag and drop the parent and parent. It's of no use. I don't have same records to compare and join, right? So if you want to join, I'm showing you example because I don't have transaction table and I cannot create right now. It takes time, right? It will waste time. So I'm trying to drag and drop the same thing, whatever is there. Now expand, you'll see something interesting here, extra node called as relations. What are relations? When you are dragging and dropping the parent and child, it should have some relation, right? That is your relation. You can add a relation and you can set the properties. The properties are, the field is customer ID to the customer ID, right? This join relation name, if you have any relation in the tables for those two tables, it will automatically give. You can set that instead of setting the field and related field properties. Now I don't have relation, so I'm setting field and related field properties. But if you go for customer table and customer trans, you are going to have a relation in the table, right? You can set that relation, and that is available here. I don't have that because these are not child and parents, right? So it is not there. Anyways, this is how you are going to join. Now you can drag and drop the fields from both the tables. Say customer ID, gender, minimum balance, name, and or not name. We'll just drag and drop these things, right? And we'll drag and drop name and others from the other table. Watch here, name and pin code. I can drag and drop, right? So I mean, you can drag and drop few fields from the parent, few fields from the child. Like if you watch here, the customer ID, the name, and the minimum balance. I'm dragging and dropping customer ID again of customer trans, the transaction amount, and the date of transaction. So you can just drag and drop whatever you want whenever you are trying to join. Don't do this join. The customer account, current account table, savings account table join is wrong. Okay. Customer current account table transaction is the right join. So today create a transaction table and do that. I'm showing you how to create a view, right? So that's why I came up with this example. I don't have enough tables, but you guys try whatever I told you. Otherwise, sales table, sales line, customer table, customer trans, vendor table, purchase orders, purchase lines, or vendor table, purchase order, purchase lines. You can create 3 levels. You can add one more level if you want. You can add any number of levels, right? So that is going to work. And if you try to drag and drop again to the same level, it won't work. But here it is working. Watch. The parent, you can drag and drop only one. You cannot drag and drop more than one. It is not allowing. And childs, you are able to drag and drop. Watch the number of levels. You can drag any number. I mean, you can add any number of levels. Don't worry. You can add new data source, and new any levels. But yeah, it's up to you whether you want to add or don't want to add. And watch here. This is query data source. All right. We are going to come to the queries. And when we learn the queries, we'll learn more detailed. These are all query data sources, right? It's all same. So we'll learn more detailed in queries, a lot of things. And there are group based joins and unions, all those things we'll learn. So don't worry till then, just practice these to have some good idea on the views. Now let me build, and I don't know if it's going to throw the error because I'm using wrong tables. It should not throw because it is just a view. We'll go to SQL and we'll see how it is creating the view, the definition, and we'll just conclude. Tomorrow's session, we want to see the macros, and macros will take half an hour, not more than that. Once macros is done, we'll move to the classes. And yeah, unless you want to move to the data entities, it's up to you, right? Decide yourself. You can start the discussion in the WhatsApp also. I'll count the number of votes and then I'll come back. But I would prefer you can complete the queries, then can go back to data entities. It's always good. Or complete the forms, then go to data entities. Because once we are done with the forms, we should be good, strong at the basics and how AX7 is working. So it's up to you again. All right, that is my plan. But yeah, I mean, because there are few guys who already know some basic AX and want to see some advanced stuff ASAP, right? So it's up to you. Decide yourself. And don't worry now. Right now, till now, whatever we learned good stuff for moving with the data entities also. Here and there, we may have some problems, but we learned very good stuff to move ahead to work with the data entities. So it's up to you. Right. Let's go and watch whether this got created or not. I should go and refresh here. Bigger problem. If I refresh, I have to navigate again. dbo.vpp. Right, we got here. Where is this here? Current. Right, this one. Current savings view just created. I want a script to show you, right? And watch here how it is created as select whatever it is. I'm just deleting because I don't care whatever it is. Okay, I want to show you how it is created from join where, and the relation I gave is customer ID. Watch. Don't worry about the other relations, data area, partition, etc. Those are taken care by AX. The relation I gave is customer ID to customer ID. If you go and watch, that is the relation I created. Oh, this is my view, right? And data source relation, and I gave this customer ID to customer ID. So that's what you are able to see here, right? And don't think why we are not learning SQL. We don't need to learn, as simple as that. We are not SQL guys. We are AX guys, but I just want to show you whether view is created in SQL and how the view structure looks in SQL when we try to create an AX, etc., etc. As simple as that, right? So that's about your views. Do one thing. I went views actually a bit more detailed than planned. The plan is to watch views only create one view without all these relations or ranges, junk stuff, because we are going to see them in queries again. But yeah, I just went a bit detailed into the view in SQL comparisons, how it's going to work and how to get the data using encode, all those things. So just practice all these things. Be back with the queries. If you are very interested, try ranges, drag and drop more data sources, and try to get the data. And please, again, I'm repeating in the recording, don't use this customer current account, customer savings account table, because you will not have the same data. The customer IDs of that table, this table will differ. You may not get the same data. Better try with customer current account table, customer current account transaction table, the parent header table, the child table when you are using the join. Otherwise, it won't work properly as expected. And you'll ping saying, I'm not getting data. I'm trying view as you told in video, I'm not getting data, right? I don't want you to try that. Try current account table, current account transactions. Have some common data when you are trying with join. It is you who should create the data. Now watch here. This is the data I have in my parent customer table and customer trans. So customer table has got 1001 one time. Customer trans has got 1001 two times with different transactions, right? So create a proper table, proper relations, proper indexes, and then add some data, then go to the views. Till then, don't go to the views, right? I hope that should be clear. By the time I come to the queries, I'll get these two tables or three tables, good tables, and I'm going to show you the queries. Till then, practice these, and yeah, be back with the queries.